Welcome
to Leadcast. Let's go.
Intriguing.
Without delay.
Hello and welcome to episode 350 of the Leadcast podcast. I'm your host, Nick the King Cooper. Joining me, Aiden Frost Rockharts.
For our special episode 350.
Ooh, what do we got in
We're
store?
all here.
Colton, Blue Basket Sweat is also here.
Yeah.
And
For such a special episode. We
That's
can't
it.
hype it enough, guys. We prepared. There's so much content.
There's a ton of content. So, before we get into our weeks, we're going to be talking about All-Star voting, patch notes, which I'm a little excited to talk about patch notes because they kind of suck. We'll talk about Worlds in the absolute shock that has been, what, quarters? Was that quarters? No, that was semis, right?
That's quarters, yep.
That was quarters.
Semis start
roundtable
tonight,
question. Ooh,
Tonight,
tomorrow. Roundtable question. We got a new cheese pick that smells a little stinky from here, but maybe it'll get better as we go in. A little bit of LCS news, I believe, and then mail fight. Aiden, how was your week, though?
My week was good. I started playing League. I made a promise to play minimum of 50, but I wanted to play about 70 games of ranked over this week because I'm on reading week. I've played 41 now, I think.
Oh my
between
God.
my account. I'm playing on my different accounts and stuff too. It's not like I'm only
Okay.
playing on my main, but I've played probably like 33 of them on my main. And I got demoted from D2 back to D3 in solo queue, but then I got promoted back to D2. So I'm actually a D2 player. I'm not just a shitlord. So that's pretty cool. And then in Flex, I got in series to Diamond 1 in Flex, but I failed that series. I had a Braum mid one of my games.
Yeah.
That wasn't as good.
Braum hard counters Yasuo?
Yeah. I don't know. I've had a lot of fun playing games. I had one person. I'm on some Diamond 4 players list in solo queue now.
Ooh, that's exciting.
I love just dude, you can tell people are just crazy people. You know what I mean?
I don't like it when you talk about me when I'm here.
Dude, this guy in my game, I did okay. I wasn't playing well, and he wasn't playing well. No one on our team was playing well. He just fucking was so mad the entire game, though. He just kept just screaming in all chat that I was a troll and stuff. So I would just hit him with a dab emote and follow him around because the game was already over. And then when I ran out of the dab mode, because he used the emote too many times, I just typed dab in chat. And he said, if I ever see you on any of my accounts, I'm going to hard int you. You're on my int list now. And I'm like, oh no, I'm on some D4 kids int list.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was fun though. So overall, I'm doing really well in ranked though. I'm having a lot of fun. I hope I hit master and flex, but oh my God, some of those games are ridiculous. And I also only gain 15 points a win, and I lose about 20 a loss, despite having a high win rate.
Yeah, MMR.
Game sucks.
Yeah.
Game's broken.
What about you, Colton?
So yeah, I've also been playing a good amount of ranked. I'm up a couple games in Flex since I was playing with you and Trevor for a little bit. And then I'm at 50 points, I think, in D4 right now. I didn't play a lot of solo queue this week. After dropping from T3 to T4 and just having a bunch of bad games, I just took a step back. I've been kind of playing PUBG and For the King and working on D&D stuff, so haven't been putting a ton of time into the solo queue grind because it was just getting really frustrating. But hopefully, by the end of the week, I'll be back to D3. Probably unlikely since I'm not going to be playing any ranked probably today or tomorrow. But I don't know. We'll see what we can do to climb back up there. Other than that, didn't really do a whole lot this week. Yeah, school and a whole bunch of Netflix, and that's about it.
Have you not played 47 games of ranked this week?
No, probably 15, 20, I'd guess. I don't know.
That's pretty low for you. Are you sick?
Maybe I'm sick, yeah.
Coming down with something, bud?
Yeah, I'm coming down with my MMR. What are you up to, Nick?
Hey, I work in school. I moved into a new house, and that's pretty exciting. Got everything set up internet-wise yesterday, so that's pretty cool. And I had training today for work and yesterday, and that was like a nice break. And I think that's basically it. I haven't really done much this past week. It's pretty much just been like preparing to move and making sure I get my schoolwork done. But I guess let's jump into the show then.
Yeah.
So you guys want to talk about All-Star voting?
Yeah. So they announced who is going through for the pros, the 2 pros from the. Well, I think they'll announce them actually for the 3 major regions, being Korea, NA, and EU. At least from what I saw. So those players are from NA. It's Doublelift and Sneaky. From EU, it's Caps and Broxa. Well, it was actually Caps and Reckless, but Reckless didn't want to go, so he gave it to Broxa. And then from Korea, it's Faker and Bang, which is pretty funny because neither of them were at Worlds. But
I find it funny that there would have been 4 AD carries of the 6 players chosen.
Yeah, I mean, AD carriers are playmakers, right? Like, it's, I guess, the main thing. Oh, and then, so people are really, really upset at Riot because they're inviting streamers to play in their All-Stars tournament, right? But once again, the first 2 streamers who have been announced are from Korea, and it's Mad Life and Captain Jack. So I don't see why Reddit's upset about stuff, because I would argue those are 2 really, really good picks. And when it comes to NA, Nick, what are the chances that it's going to be I'm a Cutie Pie and fucking Tyler 1? Like, you know what I mean?
About 100%.
Like,
hey, 2 more AD carries. Let's go.
People are getting so upset, but like, it's literally like, so far we've seen 2 out of 2. And they're probably 2 of the best choices they could have had. Like, it's better than having other Korean pro players, in my opinion.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I think like it'll just bring more fun, like more lightheartedness or something. Like, even if there's, you know, if everyone's a pro and they're all like having fun, there's still an air of seriousness about it. But then you throw in like I'm a Cutie Pie or Tyler 1, who are gonna pull out some stupid shit because they just don't care. Like, and that's where the fun comes in. I think it's smart to invite streamers, but.
I mean, I definitely see, like, why people are upset with it immediately, but when you immediately see, like, the first 2 people who are announced, you're like, come on, it's gonna be absolutely fine.
They should get LS to be one of them so that he can have an account. He's a professional player. He played in All-Stars. Get him an account.
No, he's a streamer then, because they're inviting streamers too.
Yeah, well, he streams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
But he count as a Korean streamer when he can't stream in Korea.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and then just the patch notes, which we should probably go through. That came out on Wednesday.
Yeah. Hey, patch 8.21. There was Yorick bug fix and turret bug fix in the mid patch that have already happened. I don't think there were major bugs, but yeah, it should be fine now. First up, Alistar's health is decreased by 40?
Yeah, that's probably fine. That's probably balanced.
He probably needs it.
He's probably still really strong.
Yeah, he's fine. Ashe, her passive slow is increased. Her E pings enemy champions at spots. That's a nice buff for bronze.
Yeah.
Aurelian Soul, base health decreased, health regen increased.
Wait, base health is down by 50. Big nerf. It's a pretty big nerf.
Yeah, I'm not sure why, but that's all right.
I think so. It's weird that like I think Aurelian Soul's had the highest win rate for a long time, right? In the mid lane at least. But I've never played against an Aurelian Soul in ranked. I've never played with one. Like, I guess if you're an Aurelian Soul main and you know how to make that champion like clear the waves instantly and then gank but still get back in time, then he's probably OP. But I felt like the skill cap was high enough that you should be rewarded for knowing how to do that.
I mean, the only problem I've ever found with him was unless you picked like something that was gonna like kill him before he can do what he wants to do, he would into any single matchup just tank the minions and clear them and back, right? Then tank the minions, clear them and back. So like this might punish him a little bit more for the enemy not picking like just like the hardest counter.
You have that feeling of like, well, I know what he's gonna do and I know how he's gonna do it, but there's no way for me to do anything about it. Like, I can try and fight him, but he can tank me and the minions and still get them all gone, and then I still have to like back up to my tower or I'm gonna die to minions. So hopefully this like opens up a little more counterplay. I don't think Q is in a terrible spot, but hey, Aurelian Soul mains.
Yeah.
Bug fix to Draven Q. What does it actually do? Basic attacks couldn't crit if it switched from a normal attack to a Q empowered attack during windup due to a Draven catching an axe. That's just a really specific case, okay?
Ezreal, W damage increased late. That ability already seemed kind of fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's even stronger now.
Irelia, movement speed reduction, dude, by 5.
Character's gutted. Honestly, unpickable.
Unplayable. Goes from
Nick, you wanna
100%
tell-
big ban to 0.
You see that? You see that Irelia main's trying to justify it?
Yeah, it's like, but now she can't, like, stun is easy because she can't move as far in that time. Like, yeah, but she's gonna Q a minion and stun me the same.
Yeah.
Ah, she's dead.
I think honestly that character should just do reduced damage to minions with her Q. Like, I think it does increase damage to minions right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it does, yeah.
And that just, like, that doesn't make sense. But
Yeah,
what do I know?
It's crazy.
What do I know?
Ivern, my boy, base movement speed increased, and on-hit damage for his W also increased. Also, shielding on his E increased. Buffs. I think the only one that really matters is, like, the base movement speed.
Yeah, I mean, the E thing is nice, but
It's plus 5
5
shielding
isn't a ton,
really,
yeah.
like, but plus 5 base move speed is actually pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
Just for
By the
getting
way,
around.
do you guys want to guess how much bonus damage Aurelia has on her Q to minions?
Like 50%.
200%.
It is double damage to minions.
Ha! Called it.
That ability already does way too much damage and
Was it-
procs Sheen.
Wasn't that the change though? That, like they did randomly though, like that Irelia mains like didn't want them to do because they're like
The-
she doesn't need it, and then they still
Did
did
they-
it.
Did
Yeah.
they increase the blade surge damage?
I think that's what it was. I'm pretty sure like it was a certain amount, right? Like I still increased. I
Yeah,
think.
they buffed it, and then people were like, no, you're making her too strong, and then you're gonna nerf other things.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah.
she doesn't need more damage on her Qs to like last hit shit. Just like this is gonna get her nerfed in the future, and guess what? It's gonna get her nerfed in the future.
Oh yeah, increased from 70% to 100%
Yeah,
in 8.17, so 4 patches ago.
yeah, that was like the patch where there was like, why are you doing this? Stop! You're gonna make our character get nerfed later.
Oh my god. Who thought
Hey.
that would be a good idea?
Speaking of a character that got nerfed, rightfully so, Kaisa. Passive proc scaling is down. Ultimate shield duration is down.
Good.
She was so busted, and she's still real strong.
Karma, W root duration increased early. So now it's a buff because I think you've maxed that last.
Yeah. You said Karma, yeah. Nunu and Willump. Bug fixing and
Another champion in
rescript.
between.
Oh, I didn't see Karthus. Who cares about Karthus? Actually, that's a pretty interesting change. Karthus W cooldown and cost decreased. R cost decreased. So the R change almost means nothing. Like, almost
Yeah.
means nothing. It's 50 mana at first rank. That's probably the only time where you ever use Karthus ult without being dead.
Yep.
So, like,
Yeah.
I guess that's a buff, like 50 mana there. But the Wall of Pain's actually, like, a nice change, I think. Like, knocking 30 mana off it's pretty big. And then, like, even the 3-second decrease on the cooldown's pretty big. But the R change almost means nothing. That's, like, a more of a placebo buff, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Nunu and Willump, bug fixing and rescripting. So they just fixed some stuff with, it looks like everything in his kit. Passive Q, W, R. Just weeding out those bugs.
Zach, his Q damage is increased up by 10 to 30 at max rank.
Woo! Zoe, Q damage increased late, E cooldown decreased late. Woo! Actually, I think it's like
Is she back, boys?
I don't think it's that big of a buff, and like people are complaining about them buffing her, but she's fucking dog shit right now, in my opinion.
She's pretty bad.
I don't think they should be
Still
buffing
can
her.
100 to 0 people so easy though.
I think buffing your Q is fine, you know what I mean? But I don't think they should be buffing your E very much until they figure out how to retool that into like a more fun to play against ability.
Yeah. Gragas audio clarity updates. So audio for Gragas' base skins have been updated for better clarity. So just a better understanding of when your barrel is hitting its extra damage, when your Drunken Rage goes, when your body slam actually hits something, and when you throw your ult. Just better sound effects so you know that you've done your...
Hey, his basic attacks change whether he hits stone, wood, metal, or people.
Yeah?
Yeah. Let's see.
What's wood in the game?
So stone, I imagine, is like blue buff, right? Wood is probably red buff.
Oh,
Metal,
okay.
I guess, would be like Corki or Rumble or Blitzcrank.
Mm-hmm. And
then
towers,
people
are they stone or metal?
Towers are stone
Okay.
because they crumble like stone, right? They don't. Metal doesn't crumble like that,
Some metal
doesn't
does.
it? I guess, but nothing you would build a tower out of.
You don't know what I would build a tower out of.
That's true.
And people are probably
Metal hybrids.
Lucian, yeah. Victor. Is Victor people or metal?
Metal.
Okay.
Victor's
He'd
not
be,
people.
He'd be like a normal metal class Pokemon, right? Like double. Camouflage. Turrets no longer block line of sight for camouflage abilities, meaning if a camoed enemy champ is on the other side of a turret from you, you'll now be able to see them if they're in range. I didn't realize they did that in the first place. Wait. Which means Evelyn's passive, Rengar's ultimate, Pyke's W, and Twitch's Q are the affected abilities.
Yeah.
I
That's
don't know
really
what this-
specific. I didn't know that was a thing. See, there's another stealth thing that I wish they would patch.
What?
Collie's W.
Is it just a collie? Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a collie.
Stealth thing. Akali.
What do you guys think about the item nerfs or changes? I guess
Items.
buffs. No, they had their buffs.
That's a
Yeah.
buff to Edge of Night and a buff to Essence Reaver. I think they were both in not great spots, so that's nice.
I like the change for Edge of Night where it like takes less time to proc. I feel like it takes fucking forever to proc when you're trying to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So taking
Unless
like a,
unless you're a Karthus player, in which case it takes way too fast.
yeah.
I almost wish it wasn't a channel for Edge of Night. Like it was
That
just
would
like
be
a
way
timer.
too good.
They don't want it to be like just a spell shield, like on like a Sivir.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't want it to be instant, but, like, if it was just a 1 second that you casted it and then 1 second later it worked, as opposed to having to channel it, because it's just, I don't know, I hate canceling my Edge of Night because I try to cast something else on accident.
Oh, I see. So you're not upset about it like not being instant. You just don't want it to be canceled like by stuff you
Yeah,
do.
yeah, so, like, all the time, let's say on Hecarim, he's one of the few characters I might buy Edge of Night on if I'm doing really well and I'm going a lethality build. Like, I E, and then I Edge of Night, and then I Ghost, and I do it in the wrong order, and then my Ghost cancels my Edge of Night. And I don't like that.
Yeah.
You
Just
know?
get better.
No, I kind of
Yeah.
feel you. It's really easy to cancel it. Sometimes like Colton, I'll go into a fight, I'll like try to like Edge of Night and then do stuff, and then I'll come out of the fight and I'm like, oh, I still have Edge of Night. Like,
Yeah. And again, right, like, it's... The fact that it's 1.5 seconds down to 1, I think that'll alleviate that a little bit, because it's mostly like, oh, okay, I feel like it should be finishing, I'm gonna cast my thing, and in reality I had to wait a full, second and a half.
What if they changed it so you couldn't cancel your Edge of Night, but any champion damage would still cancel it?
I'd be fine with that.
that's fine, yeah.
Like, if you were in combat, it canceled, sure. Or
Well,
like, not,
so
not
you
in
could be
combat,
hitting
but
you
like,
could be
yeah.
hitting things, but if somebody somebody sees you channeling it and are able to react to it and put some damage on you, it would
Yeah.
cancel.
I'd be fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the changes to Edge of Night were just it costs less and the channel time is down from 1.5 to 1 second, and then Essence Reaver just costs 200 less gold. Yeah. So play Jax if you want some freelo right now. They changed the On My Way ping to include 2 new pieces of information, including the distance between the ping and the player who ping, and the distance between the ping and you, the listener. Cool.
It's through audio, by the way, not through like it doesn't say like 40 Tmos away.
Yeah, sorry, audio.
Yeah.
Font changes. They made it more clear and bigger.
It's better. They made it better again.
Yeah, they made it better again, but everyone, when they first noticed it, is like, you changed my font.
I mean, they definitely made it worse last patch, in my opinion, but they fixed it. A bunch of bug fixes. The only one that's really notable, in my opinion, is that you can now buy Swifties on Pike to reduce his Q slowing, his Q self-slow.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that post on Reddit where I think the top response was from a writer who said, "Yeah, we'll look into this, but why are you ever building this on Pike?"
Yeah. I mean, it's like the Tom Kench thing, right? Reduce your own self-slow.
Yeah. No, it was just like a funny response because I'm sure like 90% of the Pike builds consist of what, Mobies, Mercs, or Ninja Tabby. And then there's just this one guy who experiments with Swifties.
I mean, yeah, Swifties are nice in that, like, they're I want to be fast like Mobies, but when I am in combat, I don't want to get fucked. So there's a small niche for them, but
No, yeah, for sure.
This makes it better, for sure.
It's just interesting that it took this long to find one person who would buy it and notice, I guess.
Yeah. I think it's the noticing part.
Mm-hmm. We got some skins. The Halloween skins, Booching Jana, Count Caligula, and Trick or Treat Echo. Along with the KDA skins that will be releasing after the patch, it says. At the World's 2018 event after party.
I don't know what day that is.
Maybe this patch at the World's
it doesn't
after
say.
party. So I think that's at the very end, yeah.
Yeah, December.
The tokens expire December 3rd.
Huh.
So sometime
Yeah,
before
November
that.
3rd, that's when it happens. Yeah.
So
Afterworlds.
I got a survey today from Riot, like in my email, about the World's Token thing. And I thought it was really funny, because, like, the majority of the questions were like, do you / did you understand how tokens work? Like, did you know that you could get skins and icons? But it was always phrased as questions of like, you can get World's Token by doing the following, like, performing well on your champion, getting your win of the day bonus, like, playing separate modes, watching esports. And I was just like, this is really just like, did we market this well enough is really the quiz.
The answer is they didn't, by the way.
No, they didn't market well enough. And like, I knew about it, we knew about it, because we're, I guess, more involved than the average player, and because I was like, absolutely, I'm going to buy this, so I want to know exactly what it is. The one thing that I didn't know, that I did respond in the survey, was like, that when it took away the old, like, pool of rewards, and it's changed now with, like, the bewitching stuff, where you can't get the old rewards. Like, I can't get my golden chromas or my world's orbs. I didn't know that was going to happen, and I'm a little bit upset about it, like...
I would be surprised if they didn't open it up again, like towards the end. If it were a limited time thing and then like rotated until the very end where everything opened up once more.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be how it is. I'm not sure, but for me it's just like I was planning on buying orbs with all of my leftover tokens, but I didn't know how many leftover tokens I was going to have, so I didn't want to buy any yet.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's going to be the case still, like
And there's new orbs now where you can get role-specific skin orbs, which is actually really cool.
It is pretty cool. I like that a lot.
And they're less than the other ones.
So,
yeah.
I don't even know if I'm going to buy the Kaisa skin with it.
Really?
I might just stock up on key fragments again.
That wouldn't be bad.
I've been preaching this like on like to like different people who complain about not having keys for chests and stuff, but every event just fucking craft them out of the like event thing instead of like getting your one skin or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, because I did it for last event, I got all my boxes. So this one I could literally get. Currently, I only have 1,040. What do you want to say it?
World's tokens.
Tokens, and that gives me 14 keys. Like that's a lot of keys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sitting on 26 boxes right now.
That's what I mean. Like, if you wanted, Colton, you have more points than me. You could probably get, like, 20 keys.
Yeah, I'm sitting on 1,900 tokens right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's after buying, like, 3 icons, 2 emotes, ward skin, and, like, 3 chromas.
Yeah. I want the cat ward, but I don't want to spend the 150 for it.
I just unlocked it because I thought I did, but I guess I didn't.
Does it make a sound when you place it?
Does it go meow?
Yeah.
Wait,
If it does,
it's
I
just
buy
gonna
it.
keep letting me. I did it, and then it like.
So you have to craft it. It probably goes into your ward skins on the
Yeah,
left.
it did. So now I just wasted 150 tokens on it. Because it lets me keep buying it, because it doesn't show owned.
Oh man.
You're an idiot. Did you fill that out in the survey saying that it's not clear enough?
It's no, I don't. Why would you be able to buy it if you've already crafted it?
Because you
Or if
can
you've already bought it, that's
disenchant
dumb.
it for essence.
Dumb.
Okay.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, so that's the patch. Oh, the only other thing
Yeah.
I guess that's worth mentioning is that if you have Twitch Prime, you can now
Oh yeah.
go to NA or whatever your like server is, .leagueoflegends.com /Twitch Prime /connect. Or just go to like obviously Twitch and then click on the little like icon at the top, and then you can get a little capsule that gives you a legendary skin shard. I got Ice Toboggan Corky, so that's cool.
Yeah, I need to do that today.
Yeah, you have like a month to do it or so, but
No, I have to do
Yeah,
it
I'm gonna-
today.
yeah.
I'm gonna work on that right after the show, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta get my skin shard. Cool. So let's talk about worlds.
So the meta's
Speaking of
changed to almost zero.
Yeah, the meta's kind of the same. So I guess we'll just jump straight into the world section, which I kind of like being at this part of the show instead of later.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a couple of like picks. Like, yeah, we can't not talk about the picks that changed without talking about the results, I guess. So do you just want to quickly talk the results, like of what happened this week?
Yeah. Let me pull. So KT lost
Yeah,
Yeah,
KT
KT
to
got-
IG.
Mhm.
Right.
3-0,
That was
right?
the
3-1.
yes
3-1.
Because they had the game where they what's it called? They had the crazy base race.
Oh, true. That was so fun to watch. Like at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm trying to pull up. Okay.
And
Then-
G2 3-2 to RNG.
Yes.
Cloud9
3-2 to
3-0 to
RNG, which is
Freaka.
a shock.
And Fnatic 3-2.
3-2'd. Yep.
Who'd they 3-2?
It was a 3-1. It was a 3-1 Fnatic.
Edward.
Edward.
Oh, I thought
3-1
they.
Edward.
Okay, Edward.
3-1.
So I think we predicted one of those right, and that was Fnatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I guess I think we were on the fence about Afrika.
Yeah. We were on the fence about that one, but and despite it being a 3-0, the last two games were close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The first game was
Certainly
smash,
closer
but-
than the score indicated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my prediction is still potentially out there that if Fnatic doesn't lose to Afrika, which they can't now, Fnatic will win Worlds.
I mean, it's looking good for them.
So I think they beat Cloud9 for sure, right? Although
Okay.
at this point, who the
You can fuck
knows?
off. I wouldn't say for sure.
I think Fnatic is just the better team. I'll put it that way.
They're
Yeah,
favorite.
but the better teams don't necessarily win at Worlds, Nick.
At
Yeah.
this Worlds, yeah, but I still think we have to like analyze these as the better team, like moving on.
I hope
right?
it's a 3-2. If we fucking have been doing that, we've been doing that all Worlds, and now there's 0 teams that we'd predict to win the finals left in the tournament.
Yes, but if we pick Cloud9 to
If
go
we had to
forward,
choose
then,
8 teams,
then the meme magic is gonna fail us, Aiden.
if we had to choose 8 teams from groups, Nick, to like be our top 8 for Worlds, none of those teams would be in the the
Okay,
running.
but hear me out. So far, we shit on NA, we shit on EU, and they're doing well, right? We have to continue shitting on them because they feed off of our trash talk.
Okay, so Fnatic's gonna 3-0 Cloud9.
Fnatic's gonna 3-0 Cloud9. It's not gonna be close. Fnatic's the better team. They're gonna go to the finals.
Yeah, and IG is gonna absolutely smash G2.
But that's probably true. Like
Okay, that was kind of true.
Nah, dude.
But like for real though, I think the games can be close between Fnatic and Cloud9. I really
For
hope
sure.
I hope it's a 5-game series. I hope it's not a 3-0 either way. Like even if Cloud9 wins, I hope it's not a 3-0.
So I think they actually match up really well against one another. Like I think both Cloud9 and Fnatic have a really strong bot lane, a really strong mid lane. I think Fnatic has a better jungler, but I think Cloud9 has a better top lane.
I'll give you that, yeah.
So it kind of like evens out to this like it's gonna come down to late game team fights or early game like cheese snowball advantages. I think because it's gonna be pretty even across the board. I think this is a prediction.
Do you think we're gonna
And,
see Soaz?
Probably not.
Bwipo's just such a good like laner
Yeah.
into aggressive lane. I guess he played pretty shit into Keen when Keen picked a counter pick, but usually you don't
Yeah,
see
but
hard
it's keen
counters.
on a counter
You also
pick.
don't see that hard of counters in top lanes like throughout the entire tournament, right? That's like the first hard counter we've seen in the tournament.
And it was Hecarim into...
No, like
Was it?
No, we're talking about the Keen's top victor into his.
Oh, yeah. Because that was like specifically as a counter to that, right?
Yeah, I mean they played the
As
first
to
game and they
Aatrox.
lost, and then they picked it again because they knew it was a hard counter, and then just he 3-0'd him in lane.
Yeah. Just smashed him.
And Licorice is pretty aggressive. Like, I think he's smart aggressive, so he's not going to go aggro every single lane. But yeah, it's pretty. It should be pretty close. I think that'll be the more entertaining series of the two.
I would love to see G2 win, but I think IG's gonna win the tournament. Is like the thing.
Yeah.
And like I kind of hope so because I think. Oh, I mean, I would love to see like Fnatic or Cloud9 win, but man, it would be fucking funny to have 3 like Western teams in semis
And
and
they
then
lose.
still lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
I want to be Fnatic so bad.
yeah.
Granted, we are going to get a new. We're going to crown a new region as world champs this year, unless Europe wins.
Yeah.
We don't count
It's a
season 1.
50-50.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking though. We don't really count season 1.
Well, it's
Yeah.
Freak's basement, dude. So
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but Fnatic wins. They're gonna cement their legacy.
yeah.
But Ricky just looks so good.
So, like, I was saying this to someone else a couple days ago. Other than Faker, dude, Rookie is the only player, like, who's, like, quote-unquote, the best player in the world who's ever, like, looked like he's actually the best player in the world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've seen Faker play and we're like, holy fuck, that guy's the best player in the world. Rookie, I see the exact same thing. I see that in Uzi, like, a little bit, but he's never been consistent enough. You know what I mean? To do that? I don't know,
It's always
man.
been Uzi could be the best player in the world.
Yeah.
Well, Uzi is like I think the distinction that a lot of people don't make is that he is probably the mechanically best player in the world because he plays shit like Vayne at the highest level. But
yeah.
I don't know. I think mid lane is just one of those positions where the best player in the world is always going to be a mid laner just because of the impact that mid has on the game.
I disagree though. Faker like is the best player in the world. He's like I'd say Faker. Let's just say like not this year, but the past 3 years has been the best player in the world, right?
Mhm.
And usually you see people like build teams around like players like Uzi, right? Uzi being the core of it, Doublelift being the core of it, like these carry players, or like even that you look at mid for like other teams, right? With like people like Dade and stuff like that. But SKT's built around Faker. Like, it's changed, obviously. At some points, he was a carry, but there's been times where Faker's been the best player in the world, and he's playing shit like Lulu mid or Karma mid, and all he does is absorb pressure, right? Instead of, like, giving Faker all the resources, they just allow him just to play even, don't give him any extra resources, and then he still pulls, like, jungle mid pressure the entire game. So the rest of his team has an easier time, which I think is wild that he doesn't have to be the carry, but he can still be the best player.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like a little bit of the Faker name. It's kind of like, holy shit, we have to camp Faker or we're gonna lose. But his playstyle also does lend itself to that. But I guess what I meant more specifically about mid lane, like a mid laner always being the best player in the world, is just that it's a short lane, so you're likely to both get attention from your jungler and theirs, get away from their jungler. You're going to get the most XP. I guess barring like split push top laners, you're going to get the most gold because you're getting all the minions, right? So I think like just having access to that amount of resources from the very middle of the map is why I think a mid laner is always going to be regarded as number one.
I think it's more likely, but I think there's definitely some room for like, again, like if it's a heavy split push meta, I think, a top laner would have a chance. I think if it's an exceptional jungler, a jungler's got a chance too, right? Like if there's someone just absolutely rolling the scene in the jungle, that's super impactful, super noticeable.
I suppose I would say I think mid lane is my opinion. I think mid lane's the easiest to be the best at. Like on a team, I guess, to be the best player in the world at. But I think the best jungler like you said, I forgot jungle even existed for a moment. I think the best jungler will have the most impact, I guess. Just because
right.
that's
So
what the jungle does.
You need to be so far ahead of the competition and like also have your team on board to be able to do that.
Yeah, because it's like even a shit jungler, if they counter gank at the right time, like that lane's done. Like you trade 1 for 2 kills on your solo laner, and even the jungler that's not as like good just makes out like a bandit in that case. But yeah. So I guess we're all predicting Fnatic over C9, right? I'm gonna say 3-2. I think it'd be close. 3-2 Fnatic.
And then in G2 Invictus, probably.
Well, what do you guys? What's your game number prediction? Sorry, for Fnatic Cloud9.
I think probably a 3-2.
I hope to God it's a 3-2.
I think it will be. They seem very like even on paper.
I feel like NA and you are finally having so much fun. You know what I mean? Like together.
Yeah.
And I feel like if it's a 3-0 either way, dude, it's just gonna be a cesspool.
I forget who I was talking about this with, but it kind of feels like at this Worlds, like Korea hasn't defined the meta, and NA and EU are kind of playing what they're comfortable with, and that also happens to be like a pretty, maybe not the best, because I don't think I'm good enough to call a specific playstyle the best, but a playstyle that's working really well at this point.
Can we also like agree that, like, I guess this like is going to transition us more into like our Metacaiser, but I'd also say that Korea even had like a wrong grasp on the meta, where like they prioritized Kai'Sa over like any other pick, I would say, and I really don't think Kai'Sa's paid off nearly as much as it should have.
Yeah, I think I guess before, like, quick tangent before we move in, what do we think about IG G2? I think that's going to be a 3-1 IG.
3-1 IG.
Yeah, 3-1 IG. I said that.
Okay. So yeah, back to the Koreans. Yeah, I think we talked about this like after the quarters, or it was semis, right? Fuck, I always get those mixed up. After the most recent round, I think we all talked about it, but yeah, Korea seems to be placing a really high priority on Kai'Sa. Not that that's a bad thing, but I think a lot of the high strength, like, most meta champions are currently residing in the top lane. Like, you can't give a team Urgot. You can't give, well, I guess you can now, but you couldn't at the start of the tournament give a team Aatrox. But we still see like first pick Kai'Sa almost every time, and I think they ended up like trading away these picks, and that kind of like did them in a little bit. Them being Korea, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's been an interesting world.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the only, like, I guess if we are talking about Metacaiser at this point now, the only real like changes to the world's meta is that we are seeing Aatrox let through a fair bit now. Not that like he's losing on it either. He's still winning all of his games, but I think people are trying to find ways to counter it, I guess. We're still seeing like very few Akali's or Irelias, but what we are seeing from like NA and EU, I guess we're saying that because I guess most of the teams left are NA and EU, but they're playing more like aggressive mids now, which is really, really cool. With the exception of like Lissandra, which just kind of showed up in the past like week or so, but we're seeing like Aries, LeBlanc, Syndra's, some Cassiopeias, stuff like that, which we didn't really see like early in the tournament.
Yeah, we saw a lot more passive kind of scaling mid laners, I suppose. With the exception of Galio.
Caps entered that game on Yasuo, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. But it's pretty cool. It's nice to see like the meta kind of shift away from one thing at the start towards another thing at the end. One champ that I like, where's Pyke been, dude?
Oh, I thought he was OP. I thought he was going to be pick ban every game, according to Reddit, Nick.
To be fair,
I
know I was. But I
still
didn't think he was as fucked
OP.
I didn't think he was as fucked as everyone else thought he was. I still thought he was the best support, but like, dude, they thought that like Riot was like out of their minds buffing that character.
Okay, to be fair, I think they still are out of their minds buffing that character.
buffing 50
I
on his
think
execute on his ult. That's like nothing.
50. I mean, it's not a lot. It's just like the fact that it's a buff at this point. You know, I think that was the bigger thing, that he's already like he was every support. I think going into this, going into Worlds, like with practices and solo queue accounts, I think he was everyone's most played like champ for supports at least. And maybe that was just like a smoke screen. And maybe that's not what scrims showed, or somebody figured out something in the background, but just seemed like to have such a huge presence and then just not anything whatsoever.
Yeah, so far in the main event, like not including play-ins. Actually, I don't think he was picked or banned at all in play-ins, was he? I don't remember.
I feel like he was played like once in play-ins.
So far,
I think that was it.
He's been banned twice in the main event. That's it.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. I guess so. So I guess it's because like things like Heimerdinger open. How do you play Pike into Heimerdinger?
Yeah, it's pretty
Seems
rough.
impossible.
I don't think that's terrible.
Really?
No, because so you don't get kill pressure, but the nice thing about Pike into Heimerdinger is you can just hook his turrets and get rid of them. Like,
I suppose
it's not a winning lane by any means, but you can deal with his turrets at least a little bit by just hooking them, and like you hook them and auto them and they're gone. So you can clear out his towers.
Then I feel like then you're using one of your like early long cooldowns on something that takes him like 30 seconds to recharge. I guess eventually it evens out, but at the very start it's got to be hard.
You can definitely eventually like break even with it. Again, you're dropping your pressure to drop his pressure basically.
Fair enough. And I guess you could just leave lane, even though he's gonna push. But if you leave early enough, maybe the muting or the tower protection will still be there.
So I was looking at top win rates at World so far. So not including like the one-off picks or like the Heimerdinger where it's like 2 wins sort of thing.
Sure.
We have Ornn at number 1 with an 83% win rate. Then Sivir, then Akali, then Leona, Nocturne, Irelia as our top 5 or top 6. Sorry, top 7. I think I counted wrong.
Wait, who was next after Ornn?
Ornn, Sivir, Akali, Leona, Nocturne, Irelia.
Sivir's been kind of a surprise.
So I think that's more because if you're, say, power picking, say, an Aatrox, an Ornn, an Akali, a whatever, you don't have priority on AD carry, so you're usually forced to pick something else. I think is the main.
Oh yeah, you're kind of just stuck with.
I think a lot of those wins are like
it's the Sivir plus Urgot, it's the Sivir plus Ornn. It's the Sivir.
I think so.
Okay.
I that's what at least my assumption is. I know a lot of the games she's had Aatrox on her team.
That makes sense.
But there's also the fact though that like a lot of this world has been determined by like big team fights around the Baron and like inhibitors. Like Sivir's really good at that. And again, right, if she gets to that win condition of 6 items, it's insane.
Well, I think even like Stormers are such a good first item on her because your W crits on every single hand, like one early game. That's most of the wave. Like you throw a W with the Storm Razor crit, you throw a Q, the whole wave's gone, and you've spent maybe like 150 mana, and it's gone really quickly too. So because I feel like this tournament's not been playing around bot very much. I feel like it's been more of a mid-centric / like topside focus. So
Yeah, that's fair.
I think she's a good character if you can just wave clear bottom, get out of lane, and like continue on.
And it's crazy because I would have said like going into the tournament that it would have been more bot centric than top centric.
Yeah, for sure. But I think I feel like Urgot and Aatrox kind of came out of like nowhere.
And then obviously like, even like mid priority, like with Rakan, I mean sorry, not Rakan, Akali, Irelia, like those like 4 characters alone just kind of like are dominating those roles.
Mm-hmm.
I still do appreciate that jungle is so diverse at this tournament. I think jungle is one of the most diverse roles right now.
I honestly think you could pick almost anything. We've seen some Elise games and it seems to work like just fine for what it's supposed to do.
The only character that I'm not enjoying seeing is Xin Zhao, personally. I think he's really boring, but other than that, it's great.
He just doesn't do much. Like his kit's kind of like you hit E, you hit W, you hit Q.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's not much like depth to it, I guess. At least in how we've seen it so far. I'm sure it exists in his kit with like, hey, I'm going to E to this minion and then ult to insect my team or to insect the enemy.
The Zinsact, as they used to call it.
Yeah, Zinsact. But we're just saying like, like Zinzao's here.
No, he's good because he can jump in, then he blocks
getting the
shit.
kill.
Like,
yeah, for sure. You get to go full damage and then escape with your ulti. So, anything else we want to mention about the world's meta? All right. Let's move into roundtable, I suppose.
that's my section.
Hey.
Hey, last week's question was, what is currently the worst ability in League of Legends? To which we all decided anything on Volibear's kit. Our listeners had some different answers, though. From our Facebook page, Jeremy said, that Ivern Grass thing, what is that nonsense? Tom said, Quinn W and Ash E are borderline useless at low elo because it's not like your teammates will watch the mini-app or even attempt to track the enemy jungler. I put that down because they actually like did the change to Ash E where it like pings them now for you, which is kind of funny. Joey said, I thought this one was interesting. Joey said, Amuma's W, the damage is negligible and doesn't feel like it does anything at all. So I think I think it's really, really good. I feel like it's one of those, like, there's a lot of abilities that will continue on this list, Colton, that I think are abilities that don't feel like they do damage when you're using the character, but feel really bad when you're playing against them.
There are abilities that don't feel like they do a lot, that do tons, and there are things that feel like they do a lot, but that do nothing. And this is one of those, I think, that feels like it doesn't do anything, but it actually does so much. I think Amuma's W is so good. Like,
another great example of this is Clarkin said Annie E kind of sucks on that type of champion. Annie E is fucking OP. You know what I mean? Like, her is it 35% that Annie's, or is it 40? Like the reduction on it, the damage reduction.
I think it's 35% damage reduction.
I think it scales.
I know it scales, yeah, by level, but I mean at max rank is the main thing.
I meant with AP.
Oh, it scales. Oh, it does scale with AP. Fuck.
I think so. I'm looking.
Damage reduction scales
it is
with
40%.
Wait,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. It does,
I guess
like,
it
the
doesn't
magic
scale.
damage,
Okay, the magic damage scales. Yeah.
Yeah, but 40% damage reduction.
Yeah.
That's
for you and Tibbers, right?
And once again, that's one of those abilities, though, Nick. Whenever you're playing Annie, you're like, you just use it to like get stacks for your passive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But then there's an Annie main out there that knows how to use it.
Yeah, it's wild. Christian says, MFs make it rain. Does no damage, hardly slows, scales AP, and costs copious amounts of mana. Once again, whenever I use Misfortune, dude, I put Make It Rain, I'm like, this ability fucking sucks. If I get Make It Rain, Nick, I'm like, I'm in a hailstorm and I'm dying. I don't know what's happening. I can't get out. Like, I'm crying. That's an interesting one. And then
I think that and Annie's E are good examples of abilities that they could like get rid of or change entirely and make the character better, but they're okay how they are.
Yeah, it's like kind of how they got rid of attack speed slows for the most part from the game, right?
Yeah,
because they just don't feel good to use, but they feel awful to play against.
Or like, I would love if Annie and Misfortune got new E's.
Yeah, I think that'd be fine. Red Lefty said, my vote is for Jarvan's W. I actually do think Jarvan's W is pretty garbage for the most part.
Yeah.
They buffed it a little bit, but it's still pretty bad.
It's just so, like, not interactive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's just, it feels like there's not really a good way to use it.
So, I think it's good because it procs Electrocute. I think the shield's like pretty shit because it scales off of number of champions around you. And I guess, like, thematically it makes sense. Yeah, you want to trap them all together and then shield not die, but just use it for the Electrocute proc.
Uh-huh. And last we have Pagan?
Pagan?
Yeah, like Pagan, both an A.
I like this answer a lot. Blitz's W is a relic of the past. He goes fast, then he goes slow. This is how we get murdered. So it's so weird because that ability is bad because it costs so much mana, bad because it slows you. If he was a new released character now, Nick, it wouldn't have a slow on it. I guarantee it, right? Guarantee you.
But
it's a really good ability on him.
Yeah, it's weird because that's not how the ability originally worked, right?
It always
like
slowed
they added that.
Wait, didn't it?
No, not at the very beginning.
I'm pretty sure it slowed you way more at the beginning.
I thought they
No.
added it.
No, okay, so very initially, it was just the buff, and then it went away, and it was gone. And then they added a slow that was worse, and then they lowered it down. But, like, the first iteration of that W did not have a debuff after.
Disagree.
Alright, I'll
Do you
look
wanna
up the
look it
patch
up?
notes
Yeah.
after we're done recording. them, I guess.
Here's Blitzcrank's release in 0.092216. Blitzcrank Overdrive. Blitzcrank supercharges himself to increase movement speed and attack speed. When this effect ends, his movement speed is decreased by 25% for 3 seconds.
Really? I thought they added that.
Did
Maybe they
take away
removed
and
it
then
at
add
some
back?
point.
That's a possibility, but
I think they took it away and then put it back.
I'm going through really quick. I haven't seen
Yeah,
anything yet. Overdrive. Nope, it's just lots of cooldown changes for the ability. Now reduces movement speed by 75% to 25%. That was a huge like.
God.
That just like I think that's like when it. You probably saw they added it maybe. Oh,
Oh, yeah, movement speed reduction.
ends. So they
Yeah.
removed movement speed reduction in patch 1.001106. And then
Oh, okay, so that was still...
When was that? Can I click on the... Oh,
That's season 1.
Yeah, that's season 1. So that
I
makes
know
sense
when I
why.
first started playing Colton that he had the slow.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, I played like towards the end of season 1, so that's why I didn't know that in like beta it had that.
So
You know, I bet this was the week that I started playing.
and then they added it back in 5.7, so season 5. So
Yeah, so
Okay,
the last 4.5 years before season 5, it didn't have that.
so
That's
we were
what we're-
all
that
kind of
was-
right and wrong. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cool.
you were right, but like for the majority of the game's history, he didn't have it.
And then so this week's roundtable question is: who is your favorite League streamer?
So I don't watch a ton of League streamers, but one that I've been watching a ton, like a lot recently, is KBV TV. I don't know if you guys
Never
remember
heard of
him. He's the
No.
he's the Seven Shields Janna guy,
Okay.
or the I don't remember what the builds are called. I think he did zero. I think he started the zero damage Tryndamere.
Okay. Yeah.
That guy with like the really dry sense of humor. I didn't like his videos at first because I thought he was like trying too hard, I guess. But after watching his stream, that's just him, which is crazy. But he loses a lot. He plays XCOM. It's a good time. He lost a 1v1 to a 10-year-old.
Classic.
Yeah, if they
I'd
open up
recommend it.
worlds to any age, that might happen next year.
Yeah.
Like, I
It's
think
like
it'd be
3
so funny if
10-year-olds.
they like open that up and there's just like a team of like 5 12-year-olds and just like smashing.
Oh, okay. Let's not go that far.
It could happen.
No, it couldn't.
Yeah, you're right. They're all playing Fortnite.
Leaks for old people.
Yeah, right. That's why. That's why UCal's so bad.
Yikes. As for me, I've been watching a lot of Froggen and Meteos recently. I've been
Ooh.
going back and watching a bunch of old like Meteos content. I think he's actually a really good jungler, and he's actually really funny to watch too. So
He's really funny. Do you remember that clip of him saying?
that's the clip I watched to get me started watching him again.
what did he say? Like, fuck my pussy?
It was something like that. He's
His
sitting
mom
beside
was
his
right
mom's right
next to
beside him,
him.
like watching him play, and he goes, "Oh, my fucking pussy."
And then she doesn't say anything. She gets up and leaves.
It's so funny, dude.
I can't imagine that.
I don't know, man. It's crazy.
How about you, Colton?
Obviously the correct answer is twitch.tv/bluebasket. No. I don't know. I really don't watch a lot of League streams. I don't watch that many streams in general. It's tough. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't really have an answer for this.
What about like a YouTube video then?
I don't even watch very much League of Legends content anymore. Like, I mean,
Probably
I watched a
such low-
ton of like Donkey and Civ HD back in the day, but like they don't really make League content anymore. I guess Civ HD still streams, but not on Twitch or for NA.
Doesn't he stream on
Streams
Facebook?
WoW.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
At least he did like a month ago. He was streaming WoW.
I heard that guy
He
did.
streams a bunch of stuff.
I heard that guy did Chinese porn for a little bit, like high end Chinese porn.
That's the
Yeah.
fucking joke, Nick. Are you memeing? You're memeing.
Wait,
as well.
is it a joke? I don't know.
Yeah, the whole
I
thing is a
don't know.
meme. Yeah, because
Oh,
I wish it
I never
wasn't.
researched enough into it, so I see people comment. I'm like,
yeah,
oh,
I
so
don't.
you're seeing
I'm pretty
porn.
sure it started. I'm pretty sure he said it like as a joke or something like that. Or,
Oh,
yeah.
dude, what am I gonna do? Civ HD's dick.
And I looked up the Media's quote, by the way. It's, my pussy's getting stretched.
Imagine saying that right next to your mom.
Mhm.
So okay, so maybe I don't. So the clip just starts out with him playing, right? He's in the game. Maybe he didn't realize his mom had walked in and sat down because she didn't have like a headset on or anything, and he had his on.
I think she was there like
And-
the entire stream, though. I think was the...
Yeah, but I don't want to accept that as a reality.
Okay.
All right. If they want to answer the roundtable question,
Hit us up on Facebook at LeagueCast. Send us an email, mail at leaguecastpodcast.com. Come into our Discord where we get most of our responses and post in our roundtable section.
yeah. Cheese pick.
Yeah, so this one is well, a listener sent me a message today, and I was like, you know what, that actually sounds like that could be pretty fun. So it's a Bard Rise bot lane, and the way he pitched it was just like, if you get ganked, you just kind of need to walk out after level 6. Like it's so hard to kill this lane after 6 by ganking them. But I was also thinking, like, I've had so many like super heavy AD teams, so this is if you're worried about getting camped and your team is all AD, so like, right, you see the top lane Yasuo and the Graves and the Zed mid, and you're like, all right, here's what we do. We pick Ryze Bard in the bot lane. You've got a lot of CC, like, Ryze has plenty of wave clear, and again, like, late game, he still turns into that, machine gun, constant DPS mage. I think it could work. I think it's not a bad lane. So... I would like to try it. I'm sure neither of you guys are interested in helping me test that, but I think it could
I
work.
think I gotta go wash my hair.
Anyway, we're gonna pair that with Danbo cheese, which is a semi-soft cow's milk cheese from Denmark. Yeah, it's typically aged between 12 and 52 weeks, and it has a bacterial culture coat, so it's got like a nice little outside.
See, that makes more sense. I thought you were calling the cheese pick Donbo, and I didn't understand why.
No, yeah, it's the cheese.
No, that's
So-
Ribo. Okay. Is it cheese or shit, Aiden?
That's garbage. It's trash garbage.
Garbage. Okay.
I do like the idea of putting a mage bottom, though, so that he can like scale like a hyperscaling mage. They tried doing that in like season 2 or 3 in competitive play. I know like Curse is like trying to put cast DP at bottom and stuff like that because it kind of makes sense, right? If you get like bad early game mages through the early game, it's pretty good.
Yeah. Hey, we've got one piece of LCS news, but it's pretty big. TSM has signed Zix. Lol.
What a
So
cancer
CLG's
environment.
Old coach is headed over to TSM. I think that's going to be a good fit. I think Zix is a good coach. I'm kind of hoping that CLG picks up song off of that. You're going to
I hope
translate it.
that in like 3 years, TSM and CLG both just do terribly one year, and they decide to just merge organizations.
No.
Yeah, perfect.
Hard disagree. How about that?
What if they called themselves CLG still?
yeah,
I
yeah.
probably still wouldn't support it.
Whoa.
Also, that's never going to happen.
What if Reggie just buys CLG?
I'd stop supporting CLG. Is that the answer you want to hear?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So mail fight. First up, we got 2 emails from Brian. So we're just going to wrap them all into one. He said you can't in regards to. I think both of these are in regards to no. Okay, so the first one's in regards to the roundtable for last week, and then the other is from increased healing, I believe. So Brian says you can't look at bad abilities without Kog'Maw. You literally only get to use his passive if you misplay. The better you are, the smaller the effect of Kog'Maw's passive. At least Karthus and Sion's after death passive enhances their kit. Yeah, we forgot about Kog'Maw's passive. It's weird that the character's so good. Well, maybe not now, but has historically been good with basically not a passive.
It's because you die anyway. Like, when you are that glass cannon high DPS, like, you're gonna die, and dying isn't always a bad thing, because then it can increase your DPS.
You're never gonna do more damage dead.
I mean, the main thing is, Nick, like 5 years ago, that was an alright passive in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But with mobility creep, you can have an assassin dive on you, one hit you, then dive out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Before, it's like an anti-dive kit, kind of, right? Like, if they do, say an assassin dives on you, they dive on you, then you do 400 true damage to them. Like,
yeah. And then I think this is in response to the quiz about increased healing from sources. So he was mentioning Olaf's W, which is called Vicious Strikes. He gains attack speed. He also receives 1% increased healing from all sources for every 2% of health he's missing.
come on, Blake.
So, yeah, I don't know if we missed that one.
We didn't say it for sure. I wonder if it actually works on potions. Because that's one that should, you know?
Yeah, it should, but I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As I don't know if it actually does.
We'll find out. Maybe not. And then... Oh, I guess that's it. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, next email is from Kevin. It's a long email, so I had to scroll a lot. Hi guys, in regards to what could be considered the worst ability in LoL, I have an interesting take on it I thought you'd all enjoy, although I definitely agree Volibear needs some love. My contender isn't an ability that is useless by any means, but I sincerely believe it is the worst design ability in the game, Shaco Boxes. Now, I come from this as a player that actually mained Shaco for a while, so it's not from a position of hating the champion, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Hopefully this email isn't too long. Aside from the initial jungle clear where the boxes excel, I feel as though they counteract what what they are designed to do. Here's an ability that fears an enemy that comes within range. What does fear do? It makes them run away from the source of the fear. What else do boxes do? Attack the enemy with an abysmal range of 425. So you're feared, then you run away from the source of damage, all on your own, taking maybe 2 shots. More like 1. For AD Shaco, you're looking at 70 damage. Seeing as the fear only lasts for half a second at rank 1, and normally AD Shaco goes 3 points in Q, then maxes E, aka you're not putting points in W. Good luck even getting that. Cool, sure, you could chain boxes together, which is great, but with a CD of 16 seconds at all ranks, you'd have to have one placed already, wait 16 seconds, and then be able to place one as they're feared. How good are you at predicting where the enemy is going to be exactly 32 seconds from now? Because if you can't, you only have a window of 1 minute before the box times out and is wasted. To top it all off, the boxes are visible and can be damaged for 2 seconds after the initial placement. Hope the enemy doesn't have any AoE damage, or a ranged auto attack that destroys it before it does even anything. I know Shaco can garner a lot of hate from the community, but I feel like aside from the easy first camp, this ability does nothing for me. What are your thoughts? Maybe replace this W with an ability that after stacking 4 auto attacks, you can activate it for a stun. I hear that's something Volibear might be getting soon. I love the podcast and can't wait to hear your responses. Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah.
This is one I've complained about so many times over the year. It's terrible design. Shaco's W is awful.
Well, it's a product of Season 1.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
It was acceptable in Season 1.
It was better in 1, though. It was
it's also a
better then.
product of fears being different 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Fears
that's
used
true.
to make people. I'm not sure if I'm sure a lot of listeners didn't play. When do you think they made that change to fear? 5 years ago?
No, I want to say it was sooner than that.
So the
I
gist
think it
is
was 3 or
currently
4.
fears make you run in fear, which is run away from the source, right? Hecarim fear makes you run away from it. Fiddle, Shaco. Fears used to make you just run random directions. It would just constantly update and put you in different directions, every half second. So, if you're feared by Fiddle, sometimes you'd just run out of his fear, or you'd run out of his range. Sometimes you'd run towards him. It is really, really a cool mechanic. But then they obviously decided that they didn't want that kind of randomness in the game, which I think is probably overall a good thing. But it hurts characters like Shaco.
Shaco.
Yeah.
Characters with fears.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's fine for Fiddle because now it's they run slowly away, right?
So I think the big couple things that it used to be better and is now worse. They used to last longer, so you could put more down. And I believe they even had a slightly lower cooldown, or maybe it ranked. I'm not 100% sure on that. But you used to be able to put more down, and the range used to be higher, and the fear, since it was random, could potentially actually benefit you. Whereas now it just always guarantees that your box gets 1 to 2 hits. So again, back then, like, really good Shaco players could set up boxes in a way where it was decently likely that your one box would fear you into a different one, which would fear you into another one, and like all of them are hitting you multiple times. Or again, maybe you just put down like 3 boxes in one bush, and instead of hitting the person once and they walk away, it might fear them towards it and you actually do damage with it. Like, you don't deal damage to champions with boxes anymore. The half a second fear is nice if you can get it behind them and they don't kill it, and it has the 2 seconds it takes to actually like place and be ready and then can fear. But it's garbage now, and like it's very likely that your box is only gonna get 1 auto attack off if somebody walks into it. Like, if they have any kind of reasonable movement speed, they'll just walk up to it, get feared, and then walk away after getting hit once. It's bad.
Yeah, they need to make it so it scales better with health, I think, is the main thing. Like, that's my number one, like, easy fix for it, you know what I mean? Make it so it's not a one-hit late game.
Terrify was, I believe, added in patch 4.3.
So yeah, 4
years ago.
Yeah.
Almost 5.
But like, cool, you know what I mean? Like, why can Zyra plants be 2 or 3 hit the entire game, but Shaco boxes get 1 hit late game and do way less damage?
Early game, they're not even that strong.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It used to make sense because Zyra's W used to increase the health of the plant, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense why it would take more damage, but now it doesn't have that anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was a good answer.
I think it'd be really cool if they switch it to like an ammo system where maybe you could like plop down 2 or 3 when you gank. But I think ideally they probably just want to get rid of the ability entirely.
Yeah, I think an ammo system would be strong, but that's what PBE is for. So, Thanks, Kevin. Next up is from Jordan. He said, something that I used to really care about in the game was the lore back in the Journal of Justice days when people thought that Jarvan was really LeBlanc and champions were teased in other champions' lore. However, when they started changing it all, I didn't care to keep up with the story as much as I had. However, I still want to see new champions that are already existing in the story. My number 1 being Katarina's dad. Close second is Darius's wife or girlfriend or whoever it was in that comic. Do you think the average player still cares about where the champions come from? Also, with Smash Ultimate drawing closer every day, who is a character not announced that you would want to see in the game? No, Waluigi isn't an answer. Or no, Waluigi as an answer. Jordan.
So we can't say Waluigi?
It's Waluigi 100%, but I guess we could talk about something else. Because that's the best answer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see Katarina's dad into the game.
In Smash?
No,
Dude,
in
same.
In Smash, yeah. Whatever his name is, Ducato. What is his first name? I think they've said it.
I don't know. I'd love to see a character from Golden Sun, which has been rumored, because I really enjoy that series. So probably Isaac from Golden Sun, the first one, or Felix from the second one. That'd be sweet.
That's who it's rumored. There's all these, like, who knows if they're fakes or not, but that's one of the characters that's supposed to be in Isaac, but who knows?
That game is sweet. I hope they keep it. I hope they don't make like an HD model for him. I hope they keep that like 16-bit or 32, I think.
They won't.
Yeah, they won't, but that would be really cool if they just like rip the asset from the game.
Yeah.
I don't think the average character honestly cares about lore at this point.
No.
It's so separated, and I don't think that was a bad change. But it's just different, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't think that they'll ever be able to like match what they had when the game was like fresh and new, and a new character would come out and you'd like read their judgment in the, you know, Journal of Lore or whatever, and like that was so hype. But
how many people actually did that? Like,
I don't think many. I did every time.
How many assets go in? Yeah, how many assets or resources go into creating that only for 3,000 people to read it?
For a couple people to read it, and then it still does nothing for their bottom line. Yeah.
But Yeah. Yeah, I think they do a really good job of lore events now. Like, not that we have had one recently, but the Gangplank or the Bilgewater event was sick. Where they killed a character and made him unplayable for a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
It's pretty hype.
And I think during that time, I guess one of my favorite parts of that is I think in China they made Spooky Gangplank free.
Yeah, that should have been. They didn't kill him and make him unplayable. Just make it so that anyone who picks Gangplank is automatically Spooky Gangplank.
Yeah.
that'd be pretty good. But thanks, Jordan.
Yeah. Last email from David. Hey guys, as you were describing the toxic electrocute Alistair last week, I had an eerie feeling you were describing one of my games the night before. I too encountered an Alistair running electrocute, although this one was in top lane, and he wasn't any less toxic. Because I had never seen this before, as the game started, I simply asked, why is there an ally top? Then he went apeshit saying I was flaming and I was toxic, then said I was muted, all because of the one question. Then the rest of my team joined in, either ignoring my pings or saying I was still flaming. I then proceeded to carry the game, stall it out until I got some answers, and got my point across, then closed the game and went on with my night. Is this electrocute Alistair some not-so-spicy bull cheese? Is it a requirement to be a flaming pile of toxic sludge in order to play it? Hoping to avoid more of this nonsense, David.
So in my game though, it was only his friend who was flaming. He didn't talk at all. His friend talked for him.
He was probably chat restricted.
Yeah, he normally plays by himself, Nick, but because he got chat restricted, he has to like talk through someone else.
Yeah. I will say, not to play devil's advocate, but I think why is there an alley top is probably not the I guess most friendly way to ask that question.
Hey man, when I was in my D1 series this week, and I go, our mid goes, yeah, I'll play a wave clear mid, and I get up from my computer, go get a drink, come back, and now there's a Braum mid in my game. I went, why the fuck is there a Braum mid in my game?
Yeah.
Hey, his ultimate, is that AoE? Does it hit me?
Yeah, you can use it every wave.
Wave clear.
He also went 0-7 lane, gave all 7 of those kills to a Yasuo.
You think they were win trading?
No, I just think he was retarded. He says that he locked in Ziggs, but the client messed up and switched it. But I don't believe him. So
that could be true.
It's a possibility. But all I know is I got up. He said he's gonna play a wave clear mid, and I came back and he was playing Braum.
I had a similar experience today of just like there were 2 people autofilled on my team, and they were like, "All right, we'll just like try and play smart and not int," and then they go and pick like we had a Riven and I think a Zed. Where like the guy was autofilled top and he picks Riven and he ints a Teemo, and I'm like, hey, here's an idea. Pick a brain dead tank like Scion and don't int. I don't get it. There's so many easy characters in the game. Like, don't pick Riven when you're autofilled.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
All right, and with that, that's that'll do it for episode 350, the special. Thank you guys for listening. If you like us, you can check out our website, leaguecastpodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at leaguecast Like us on Facebook, Leaguecast. Come talk to us on TeamSpeak or Discord. ts@leaguecastpodcast.com is the address. You can find the Discord information on our website, or you can ask one of us for it. You can send us emails, mail@leaguecastpodcast.com. You can support us on Twitter, or you can check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/bluebasket and /kinglardout, and support us on Patreon, patreon.com/leaguecast. We'll be having a very special Leaguecast, or a very special Patreon episode going up pretty soon, so make sure you check that out. Thanks for listening to episode 350. What do you guys think we're going to be doing 350 episodes from now?
Rotting in the ground.
Hopefully not doing this.
Complaining about Riven.
Hopefully League 2 is out.
Yeah. League of Legends 2.
Bye.
You think that's going to be a card game or an MMO?
Battle Royale.
Bye.
Bye.